Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. I'm working on my project with roving, hooking with roving, right? So let's look at this. This is called Counting Sheep. This is a yard-long project I'm working on. I've got all this beautiful roving that I've taken out from my bins, right? I've just been collecting tons of roving over the last few years. You know, I'm trying to decide what color to make this sheep here, and I'm looking at it, making decisions, and I think I'm going to go at least with this one for this electric color. And, you know, this is going to work very much the same way as hooking with anything else, right? This is still wool. It's processed wool. It's just not been spun yet. So I can pull off a piece like it's cotton candy times, right? And I can even cut it as I go. So I know what I'm working with here. Cutting it carefully. I don't want to make a giant mess. And I'm going to hook it the same way I hook anything else, right? You can also sew it, attach it in different ways. But for me, I'm going to do it this way. This is my comfort level. I'm going to make sure that the end is nice and contained. And I might not leave my tail up on this one. You know, we traditionally leave the tails up with rug hooking. I might not do that this time because I don't want it to be a ratty mess. Oops, you see what I just did? Let's try again. This is not spun, right? So it has potential to play me. If I want, I can twist it a little in my hands like this. I can even double it, right? I'm going to try that. Experiment with it. It's a completely different fiber. It's very, very loose and airy. It's like dealing with a little cloud. I'm going to try again. Let me pull it up. And of course, I can fool with it as I go. As I pull my loops up, I can decide on the height. I can pull it back through, but I can see that I'm getting some good, bring it in even closer. Some good luscious color here. Roving is so pure. You know, I think one of the reasons that as rug hookers we love working with wool, many of us, is because it's so tactile. We just love the way that it feels. Roving is kind of like even more extreme, isn't it? Because it is like a soft, colorful cloud with such pure, brilliant color. Do you see that color coming through? It's just extraordinary. Now, because I'm hooking with it, it's making loops, right? So if I'm going to be applying roving to my rug hooked piece, and my backing here is primitive linen, it's going to come up looking like loops. So that piece did that little bit there. I think that's quite pretty. I think that's quite a pretty start. Can you see all the rest of these guys being all different colors of roving? And it's going to hook up just like this. Now, am I expecting it to play me a little bit while I'm trying to hook? Of course I'm expecting it to play me. I'm expecting everything and everyone to play me. But some more than others are less refined. Like I have some like this that are a bit less refined, and then these are a little bit more sort of polished. You can tell by the luster, by the feel of it. These have been sitting around longer as well. So different ones are going to hook different ways, but at the end of the day, I am pulling up loops just the same as if I was working on a straight up rug hooked project, right? This is a slightly different material. It's still wool, but it's in a very different form. So this is something that is going to need a little bit of finessing, a little bit of practice. You hope that you're going to get it sooner rather than later, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's later. You have to be patient with yourself. This material is so worth it. It'll give you such a beautiful finished piece. Wait and see.